In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 secret habits that all 5-0 players have. So stick around to the end of this video so that you can implement them in your game. Do you ever wonder why high-level players make it look so easy? Well, one of the things that helps them make the game look easy is that they are always balanced and stable when they are hitting their shots. Obviously, there are times where they're running off the court or in a defensive position, but they are doing everything they can to be in a really good, solid stance so that they can actually concentrate on the most important thing, and that is hitting the ball. So what does this have to do with you, and where do I see the most common mistake? Well, that is in this transition zone. Whether you are coming in after your return or you are making your way up after your third shot, there's so many times I see amateur players, they are still taking a step while they're hitting the ball, or they're not even stopping at all. They're just hitting the ball while moving. But the first one is what I see a lot. A lot of people think that they are stopped and balanced, but they're actually stopping late, and they usually have one foot in front of the other, which is not an ideal position when you're in transition. When we're in the transition zone, we want to be in a good wide stance. This is why we talk about the split step, which allows you to get in a good wide stance and in a good ready position to hit the ball. Secret habit number 2, this has to do with the return. Arguably one of the most important shots of the game. Why is that? Because when you return the ball, they are going to be looking to attack you on their third shot. So we have to hit effective and efficient returns to be a really good player. So how do we do that? Well, good players always have their momentum moving in while they are hitting their returns. Whether they are hitting a slice or lob return, or whether they are hitting a ground stroke topspin return, good players always make sure that their body movement and their momentum is actually going forward through that shot. Why it's really important to have that momentum is because we have to get to the line. So this forward momentum, as we're hitting that return, helps us get a head start to that non-volley zone line. So what are the biggest mistakes that I see? Well, number 1, sometimes I see players stand too close to the line. And what happens if the ball or the serve is landing really deep, they're actually going to have to take a step back, and now they have their momentum moving back on their return, or they're forced to actually hit their return right off the bounce, off the half volley, which is a very difficult way to hit your return, and those kinds of returns tend to be short and weak. Another thing that I see a lot of amateur players do when they are waiting for the serve is that they hit their returns in a static manner. And what happens is they have to hit that return and then gather all that momentum to move in. So doing this, you actually lose time, right? You're gonna actually hit your return and then you lose a second or two because you have to gather all your momentum and sprint up to the line. So what ends up happening is you're getting caught in the transition on your 4th shot, which you should actually be up at the non-volley zone in a strong position. Secret habit number 3, all 5-0 players are in a counter-first mentality. What does this mean? Well, when they're up at the non-volley zone line, whether their opponents are dinking at the non-volley zone line, they're either in transition or they're at the baseline, they are always looking to counter first, and they're expecting every ball to come fast at them. Not only are they expecting every ball to be sped up at them, but they are looking for opportunities to counter and be offensive back. This is really important because you want to show your opponents that you can handle pace, and also if you are defensive all the time and you're trying to block and reset, that just invites your opponents to continue to attack you. I see this a ton in amateur level play. You're either not thinking the ball is going to come fast, or you just defer to blocking or trying to slow the ball down. This does not help you, especially if you're trying to get at a high level. You want to make sure that you are ready for each and every ball, and you look to always attack first if you can. If you actually want a full masterclass on how to attack your opponents first, make sure you check out the description below or go to attackmasterclass.com. Secret habit number 4, all 5-0 plus players have a magnet back to their ready position. So what does that mean? Whether they have to move their feet and they're dinking, or they're hitting fast hands exchanges up at the net, their paddle will always return back to their center ready position so that they can be ready to hit the ball. So what do most players do? Well, most players will start up in a pretty good ready position, but after a few shots, they drop their paddle down, or they hit a backhand here, and then they leave their paddle here. And I even see this, they hit a forehand here, and then they just kind of leave it here by their right knee. What really good players do is that they always have, we'll call it this pull back to their center position. And this is very important because this is what actually gets us ready for the next shot, and it will actually make your reaction time better. Because your ready position is in the same spot every time, no matter if I'm hitting a dink or if I'm hitting volleys, you're ready for the counter attack or the speed up, which is the most important shot to be ready for, because that's the shot that we have the least amount of time to prepare for. So no matter what shot they're hitting, all 5-0 players make sure that they are pulling their paddle back just like a magnet. Last but not least, all 5-0 players prioritize place over pace. Yes, I know that you've probably heard of this, but it's really important that as you raise up in levels, that your priority of where you hit your shot is actually higher than how hard you hit it. Whether I am receiving balls that I can attack off of the bounce, or I'm maybe leaning in, maybe with my backhand here and looking to attack, as a high-level player, I'm always thinking about a spot first. I'm not thinking how hard can I hit it? Can I defeat their reaction time? I'm actually looking at and predetermining in my mind a specific spot that I want to go for. These are spots that I'm actually thinking about even before I attack the ball. Most players, what they do is they are trying to be really aggressive, which is great, but all they're thinking about is, can I find a higher ball? And when I find it, I'm just gonna hit it as hard as I can. So what happens in those scenarios against better players is that ball kind of just ends up in this vicinity and the counter comes back really hard and really fast. So it's really important that you develop a mindset where you're always looking for a particular spot and a target so you can actually effectively attack your opponents. All right, those are the 5 big secret habits of 5-0 players. Obviously, they're not secret anymore. Make sure you go out there, use all these. And again, if you'd like a free masterclass on attacking, make sure you check out the description below, and we'll see you in the next video.